I'm all for healthy boundaries, but I tend to think mashed potatoes are the great equalizer. Like, you don't want to spend Thanksgiving by yourself because you can't set politics aside.
Whatever your reason is, I would never let my politics be the reason I don't show up to see my family, because they won't always be there.
Right, well, apparently the View host, Sunny Hostin, is all for Democratic voters essentially spending the holidays alone if it means not having to deal with family members who are big Trumpers, individuals who supported Trump for this election.
Everyone, welcome back. Today, we are discussing a topic that has been very popular on the internet. In a clear and direct approach, Ana Kasparian is expressing his thoughts about the growing divide in the media, especially in relation to the program and its hosts, Joy Reid and Sanani Hostin. From contentious family dinners that turn into political disputes, to somber conversations on race and how the media portrays it, this conversation gets real. Are our political disagreements causing us to become increasingly distant from one another? Does the media contribute to the situation? Let's get to the heart of the issue and sort through the clutter.
The topic came up after a Yale psychiatrist by the name of Amanda Calhoun suggested to Joy Reid that it might actually be a good idea to skip the holiday celebrations this season following the election. Let's watch.
There is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who you know have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why. To say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take space for me.
All right, so I'm not surprised that was something that was said on Joy Reid's show, but I am curious what you think, John. There are those who disagree, plenty of people who do agree, though, but I'm curious where you fall on this.
Joy Reid raised awareness to a recent suggestion made by a psychiatrist at Yale that has generated a lot of controversy. The idea that families ought to consider avoiding holiday gatherings with family members who share their political views or who back Trump. Ana Kasparian quickly responded vehemently to this suggestion. She argues that prioritizing politics above family only serves to exacerbate the hostility already prevalent in our country. Instead of encouraging courteous, candid communication, this style of thinking deepens the divide and isolates people. Kasparian believes it is more harmful than helpful to turn family relationships into political battlegrounds.
You have a group that might come over and you know it's going to ruin the day and the election was literally 3 weeks ago, then in that case, yeah, I think you might have to create some distance.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think it really does depend, right? Because if you're going to preemptively cut people off because you simply know that they voted differently from you and you vehemently disagree with who they cast their ballots for, but they haven't been jerks to you, you can typically have a good time with them and not get into a political debate. Like, I think it's wrong to cut those people off, especially if it's family, friends, people who've been close to you. There's going to be political disagreement. To destroy our relationships and our families and our friendships. So that's where I'm coming from. Plus, when you keep that line of communication open and you can stomach some of those political debates, if you engage in good faith and if the person you're disagreeing with knows that you're coming from a place of love, you can actually, maybe persuade. Maybe they'll persuade you on some things. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we need to see each other as people rather than like political avatars. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like as a general rule, sure. I guess super depends on age. I mean, there are people who they might have had to hide who they were when they were teens, and now
I know, yeah.
Parents want to have Thanksgiving dinner with them, but they remember what their early life is like. Like it super depends on the individual person.
It really does. It does. I totally agree with you on that. Okay, so Anna Navarro, Alyssa Farah Griffin, and Sarah Haynes all agree that they don't let politics get in the way of their relationships and with family. So let's take a look at what they have to say.
I'll tell you, Al has 5 children.
Your husband.
My husband has 5 children. Most of them or their spouses voted for Trump. The problem is those 5 children have 13 grandchildren he refuses not to see and not to be part of their lives. And so for our family, I mean, he has told them, I will not let politics split up our family.
You don't have to spend Thanksgiving by yourself because you can't set politics aside. Like, I find that every day in every job I've worked in social circles I've run in, I've been around people who have different politics than me, and it's never gotten in the way of having friendship.
Well, I wouldn't have had
I would have had any friends.
I wouldn't have had any holidays if I had to only pick the ones where everyone agreed with me. And so now there are times, and I
wouldn't be with you.
I check in with myself and say, am I up for this? Because I also know struggling with mental health, there are times I'm not, and that's okay. You step away, but it will never be the defining point because toxic personalities don't have political affiliations. It's a personality trait that sucks, and we all are related to people like that.
Ana Kasparian didn't mince words when she criticized the viewpoint, and Sunani Houston specifically, for disseminating what she sees as a divisive, self-righteous message. Instead of promoting human ties, she charged the hosts with moral posturing that obstructs real communication. It exposed what Kasparian believes to be hypocrisy. Even though they profess to support free speech, they usually ignore or steer clear of competing views. She also attacked the show's and the majority of media's portrayal of race, saying that its language oversimplifies complex issues and ignores the realities of everyday Americans' lives. The perspective of View isn't promoting harmony, Kasparian said. Instead, they are increasing the distance and making it harder for people to unite.
Austin, she's having a tough go at things, and she's in the complete opposite camp. So let's hear what she has to say.
Whatever your reason is, I would never let my politics be the reason I don't show up to see my family because they won't always be there.
I'm going to disagree. I completely understand her point because I really do feel that this candidate, President-elect Trump, is just a different type of candidate. From the things he's said and the things he's done and the things he will do, it's more of a moral issue for me. And I think it's more of a moral issue for other people. We're just, I would say it was different when, let's say, Bush got elected. You may not have agreed with his policies, but you didn't feel like he was a deeply flawed person, deeply flawed by character, deeply flawed in morality.
A lot of guys called it flawed.
But you got to admit, they're very different figures. I think when people feel that someone voted not only against their families, but against them and against people that they love, I think it's okay to take a beat.
I think she was fine in what she's saying there. Taking a beat is definitely fine. Sometimes you need a break. That's totally okay. Look, I think, John, you and I have the right take. Okay, the right take is...
I generally think that.
Right? Yeah.
Actually, yeah. That's why.
Ana Kasparian comes straight to the point and draws attention to something that many people overlook. Family conflicts are influenced by more than just politics. They usually have to do with how people react to conflict. She claims that the real problem is not who someone voted for, but rather the way some people react aggressively instead of calmly and kindly. Kasparian turns her focus to Sunny Holin and gives her a critical assessment. She charges Houston of making money off of achievement while advancing notions of victimization and entitlement. This kind of double standard is a sign of a bigger problem in today's media, especially on The View, where viewership has been dropping, according to Kasparian. She argues that the show has become too contentious, alienating viewers instead of presenting alternative viewpoints. According to her, in-depth conversations have been replaced with preaching to the choir. How do you feel about all of this? Thank you for watching, and feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts.